The time when I was arrested on the bus, December 1st, 1955, I was on my way home from work, loaded a bus, not with the intention of getting arrested, but only to go home and take care of a number of matters that I was looking after, one being the workshop for the NAACP Youth Council, which I was the senior advisor. I was also secretary of the senior branch of the NAACP. So December was going to be a very, very busy month for me, even if I had not been arrested.
One of the programs we did that was huge was bringing Rosa Parks. The program in Mamad, which was packed, 1,500 people, that turned out to be a flop because we allowed everybody who said they wanted to be on the program and they were going to do a little 1-minute tribute. That was a mistake. They went on for 5, 10, 50 minutes. You couldn't kick them off. You needed some kind of trap door or something they could just drop into. And so in the end she said, well, thank you all for coming. I was going to tell you more about my experience, but I have to catch a plane. And everybody said, no, you can't do that. But the day before that, we had a press conference. And she told us about the experiences leading up to the point at which she refused to give up her seat. She talked about the ways in which buses would often taunt the black residents, including older people. So you'd be waiting there, and then they would come, and just as you got to board the bus, they would drive up like 20 feet. And then you'd have to run behind it, and then they would drive another 20 feet. And it was humiliating, you know. And from that and other experiences, she told us that, again, I'd never read about anywhere. It provided the background, and it provided the information, which of course we now know more generally. That it wasn't just that she was tired that day, but she was, like other people, fed up of the injustice. And they started this, Montgomery bus boycott.
As I loaded the bus, I noticed this driver as the same one who had evicted me from the bus in the early 1940s, I believe 1943, for refusing to, I was already on the bus, found a place in the back to stand. And he wanted me to get off the bus and go out and go around to the back door to enter. We passed one stop without being disturbed, and another stop was when a few white people boarded the bus and finished filling up the seats in the very front. I didn't notice, all I knew that there was a man standing. And when the driver noticed him standing, that he wanted the 4 of us to stand up, for this man to have a seat. And I chose to not stand up after the other 3 reluctantly did so. And that was when he told me if I didn't stand, he was going to have me arrested. And I agreed with him that that's what he should do. And he did have 2 policemen to come on the bus and place me under arrest, and I was taken to jail.
Our responsibility was informal education for 88 freshmen. And what that meant was having lunch, dinner with them every day, inviting them over to the cottage for, in small groups for dinner. One visitor I remember just vividly, because how could you forget her, was Rosa Parks.
Really?
Rosa Parks, diminutive, sweet, beautiful Rosa Parks, who must have been in her 80s at that time, and came to the lounge after dinner, sat on her chair, small, quiet voice, everybody sat around. I remember our son then, Nick, was 5. When Rosa Parks was there, he was just with the freshmen, and of course, he had a question. And a 5-year-old kid, and I think, what better place to raise a kid?
The evening had gone completely out of what I had planned, but I was willing to face whatever consequences I had to let it be known that I did not feel I was being treated fairly as a passenger and a person, and I did not see where, as he said, y'all make it light on yourselves and let me have those seats. I couldn't see where it was making it light on any of us to comply with that type of treatment.